Time.tv.
The toad, creature number 44, is described as having been magically enlarged by demonic baptism, which may also explain its aggressiveness. However, the frog, number 48, has no such description, and is presumably just a jerk. Well, hello once again, and welcome back to Nathan Plays Castlevania Symphony of the Night. My name is Nathan, and this is Castlevania for the Sony PlayStation. In the previous episode, we did a lot of exploring around the underground caverns of the castle, and now we're working our way up to the very tippy top. We used the Jewel of Open in order to gain access to the Royal Chapel, and Dracula is back on the job. Play around with the loading screen a little bit more there, just for fun. Actually, pretty good load times for an older PlayStation game. It's kind of impressive. So here we are, having done the first part of the chapel. We made our way up a whole lot of stairs, and I think defeated a pretty unimpressive boss, a hippogriff. Hopefully not Buckbeak. Should be fine. Found ourselves a new sword, a cutlass, the sword of the English Navy, but it's unfortunately a few points worse than the one we had. So we're going to go back to Saber. It really wasn't a substantial difference. Not something I felt like I needed to put into action. Bit of a loading screen here. Now we're somewhere quite ominous. No little title card yet to say where we are. There's an intriguing looking object above us. Hopefully we'll find a way to work around to that. Gather a whole lot of resources that I'm not really going to use because I have that dust right now that I don't really like. And now we finally get our title card, the Castle Keep. That is where we are. There's a door off to the side here. We'll take a quick look inside. And it's another fast travel station, this one with a lion's head adorning the keyhole there. Something to keep track of for later. We have some conveniently placed magical elevators here. I assume they're magical. They could actually be mechanical. Another doorway off to the side, which we're just going to take a quick peek into. It's a very cool looking sword sitting there. It's called Turfing. Let's check it out. Unfortunately, it is a cursed dark sword. It has exactly 0 attack and is mostly useless. Doesn't even have any cool effects. Super slow swing. Really can't recommend it. Not sure why it's here. I suppose there's some obscure enemy somewhere in the game that works very, very well on, but for the most part, things are not very affected by dark attacks, as most things are dark. So we can't get up to that hole that was in the upper left. We're going to head off to the left here and head toward that bit of jewelry that we saw on the way in. There's these extremely annoying flea riders here, and unfortunately we can one-shot them fairly easily, but they just kind of swoop in, and there's too many of them. Don't like them. Ow. They don't do that much damage. They're just irritating. What do we have here? It is the Leap Stone. This is going to be a big old game changer that opens up a lot of areas for us, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. Oh, no, Nathan, it's not there. You got to go to Relics. The Leap Stone means that the wearer can do a double jump. We can also turn that back off if we want to, but why would we want to? So when you jump and press jump again in the air, a big pair of wings sprouts out from your back. In this case, they're a little bit difficult to see because of my crystal cloak. And you get a whole second jump. this pretty much concludes our business up at this part of the castle. This is an important piece of kit that we are going to use to get to some new areas. Not up there, unfortunately. Let's head down to the fast travel station. And we're going to stop off right here at Horsehead Station. Just the very next spot on the list. Horsehead, as you recall, brings you back to very close to the beginning of the game. With our bloody zombies and all. We're going to take a quick detour. There's a few more things that we can't get just now, or we can't get yet. But we can get this. And it's a heart max up. Very nice. Makes traversing some of these vertical sections a little bit easier. And so with that, it was time to head on to another place that I wanted to get to real quick. Now that we have the leap stone, we can access the elevator here a little more easily. Not this one, but the one just around the corner. You'll recall that a few episodes ago we came through this way going the other way, and we used the cannon to blow this door open. So now we're going to use it to go up and bypass a fairly significant section of the laboratory here, which is very nice. We got our holy water back, now that we're back in the marble gallery, I think. And we're just going to make our way through. There's something that I talked about doing in a few videos back that I didn't actually do, and might have been nice to do. And that is, we went down to that part, we fought the marionettes, and we got a special relic there, but we didn't finish the rest of this hallway, which is because there's a very strong chance that you will die if you do it wrong, especially at a lower level. It's very convenient to have open, but really, really risky, and not necessary early on, but nice later. So it's kind of a risk and reward thing for me. Anyway, I decided that I wanted to have it open. I wanted to go through it. And now was the time. So we had that rather large armored fellow up top. We have these ghosts that are very much a throwback to previous Castlevania games. And kind of annoying, a little bit whiny. And we got one more fellow at the bottom who can be real trouble to a lower level individual. And it's got a name. It's got a hit. Come on. Likes to shoot fire. Likes to shoot lots of fire. 23 damage per hit and a lot more if you're lower level. Anyway, his name was Cthulhu. I apparently managed to kill him without landing a sword hit on him, which is what triggers the name in the lower right corner. It's Cthulhu, everybody. From the mythos. From H.P. Lovecraft's body of works and everything. Not quite the way he's described in the stories, but what can you do? So having completed that little section, we can now hit this button. Lowers the rock, raises the wall, and we're back here once again. I'm going to drop off that platform to land and use my double jump to grab this life max up in the side room. And now that we've done all that, we're going to take a quick save, because we're here. And we haven't done that in a little bit. And once we've taken a moment to kind of save and collect ourselves, we're going to go back through that corridor that we just opened up. Again, it's kind of a convenient thing. It would have been nice at 1 or 2 points earlier on, but I didn't want to risk it, and now I just wanted to open it up. Having just barely seen it, we're not going to watch it again. I'm just going to skip right through to the other side. And put us back in the marble gallery that's over top of it. Hey Nathan, I thought you said you were going to use that double jump to open up some new areas. Well, patience. We're getting there. Building suspense or whatever. Look at that. There we go. Since that statue in the upper left was open, you can use the double jump to get on up there. There's 2 other ways that we're going to check out eventually, but not just now. And here we are. New area, as promised. See? I wouldn't lie. This is Olrox's quarters. Now here's the interesting thing. Remember that castle map that we bought? This isn't on there. Curious. Are there perhaps other significant areas that are not on the castle map? Spoiler alert, yes. So the castle map only shows you most of it, but you're going to need to do a little more digging to find everything else. By this point in the game, you should have become accustomed to poking into nooks and crannies and things, and so finding Olrox's quarters should not be very much of a stretch for even novice players of the game. It's rather nice. It has a lovely soundtrack that I've been talking over. My apologies. And it even has a secret or 2. As well as some cheese, an onyx, and a broadsword. Let's check it out. Broadsword is a simple mercenary sword with 3 points more damage than the one I was already using, and a nice long reach. I think we're going to go with that. There's another variation on that sword that we saw in the cathedral last episode, except this one has a lot of just other weapons and implements floating around it. Not quite as intimidating. And we're going to move right through Olrox's quarters. There is more to do there, but not that we're going to do right now. Through Olrox's quarters into the Colosseum, which is right next door. I believe we peeked into the other side of this area earlier on, but now we're able to explore it properly. Save points abound in the Colosseum, and that's with good cause, because there are a lot of bad dudes around. And the whole thing kind of goes from left to right in long corridors. So it's not terribly difficult to kind of go through it in a very systematic way. I decided to stick with the daggers for now, as you see. That room had a bunch of different sub-weapons in it, but daggers are going to be my jam today. We got a couple of bone scimitars. We got this fellow, the Paranthropus, who's going to chuck big old bones at us and not be especially threatening, although a little black hole comes to collect his remains after he's defeated. That's neat. Here we have Hunting Girl, which we've seen before. And some sort of an elevator shaft or something. Maybe we'll figure that one out. Here's a blood cloak sitting in sort of a creepy butcher's room. The blood cloak converts damage to hearts. It's slightly less defense, but it is a very cool sort of color of red, which we'll throw on here in a moment. So that means exactly what it sounds like. When you get hit, you will also get hearts. Can be nice. Looks quite stylish, you have to admit. Decided to leverage my daggers a little more because I'll be picking up more hearts as I take hits with this thing. Out of the way, Hunting Girl. Ouch. And so as you saw just there, a heart actually floated up from the hit that I took. And that's just automatically collected. There's an elevator, but the chain appears to be caught between some large blocks just on top of it there. This room is a little bit upsetting, because those riding knights will push you back out of it and make you have to do the whole thing over again. It's very hard to gauge where they're going to stop and turn around. It's the same spot every time, but they're so fast. And I'm not good at video games. Well, there we go. We cleared that room. We can get to the other branch of the Colosseum here. Now, these guys are cool. Owl Knights, as you see, have an owl that they toss at you. And they also attack you with their sword. Now, the two things can be damaged independently of one another. And the order that you defeat them in actually makes a bit of a change in how the enemy reacts, which is kind of neat. There's an armor lord that's in our way. And I'm getting a little bit low on health. Fire cleans him up there. Thanks, daggers. But fortunately, there's another save point. As I said, there's a few of them around, which is pretty good. And that's going to give us a refill on health so we can keep exploring. So as you see, it kind of goes in sort of long, horizontal corridors from left to right. East to west, I don't know. Does it apply here? So there's something interesting at the end of this room that I want to get to, but those riflemen keep shooting me and causing me to fall out. It's really hard to get close to them. And also not get killed by these big sword dudes. And before you know it, I've taken a rifle bullet. One too many. And we get our first game over. Let us go out this evening for pleasure. The night is still young, it says on the bottom of the screen for some reason, and we get some mocking laughter, and we're thrown back to the title screen. This was something that, in my early days of playing Symphony of the Night, I saw quite often. I used to find it a very, very vexing game, and at times, things still get away on me. The situation gets a little bit out of hand. This time, I'm trying something different. And inadvertently, because of the crazy move I'm trying to do, inadvertently ended up damage boosting myself through the entire room. I grabbed the shield rod at the other end, and then I pulled off the thing I was trying to do. Soul Steal. A total game changer to learn. We're going to throw on the shield rod here. It is extra effective with a shield. It has a little more damage than we already do. And it has a few very interesting properties. Kind of looks like that when you swing it. Very different from a sword. If you do a down to forward and attack, it throws out one of those, which is a little reference to the Gradius games that are also made by Konami. Those things, the little magical deal there will absorb projectiles for you, just like it does in Gradius in front of your ship. And if you press both the attack and the shield button together at the same time, mind you, a magic spell will trigger, and something different will happen for every different shield that you have equipped. So for instance, I had the Night Shield equipped, and that caused me to trigger an offense up. And if you go back, you'll notice that my attack went from 26 up to 46. So every different shield in the game has a different effect along with this shield rod. We're going to sort our inventory here. And the only other shield we actually have right now is the leather shield. So let's try that one out and just see what it does. So once again, attack and shield at exactly the same time. It summons a cow. Okay, I guess it is a leather shield, and our defense goes up. These effects are temporary. There's not really a great indication of when they actually wear off. I guess in any case, you'll notice that either your damage the damage you take goes up, or, you know, whatever. This one summons a cool horsey, as you saw earlier. And there again, I'm doing 46 damage apiece. Rather nice. So as you saw, when you defeat the bird first, the Owl Knight, in his grief, rushes to the bird's side and gives you a good opening to wail on him. I also beat up a Gravekeeper. I think this is the only place in the game that they appear. Possibly. On the other hand, if you defeat the Owl Knight, the Knight himself first, and the Owl will go crazy and start swooping at you a lot faster and more aggressively. kind of a little symbiosis there. Is that the word? Probably not. Anyway, they have a relationship. And then you show up and ruin it. How's that? This is a fairly unique sub-weapon that I just picked up there that's not available in a lot of places in the game, unlike some of the other ones. And we're going to see what it does shortly. I wanted to open up that shortcut just in case I needed to come back through here later on. And now we're going to head into this kind of special looking area. There's a library card in case we need to make a hasty exit. But we're going to press forward into this Colosseum.
Who are you? Open hell's gate. Come forth, my servants. The scent of your blood. You're a Belmont. Crush this flea who invades my castle.
Oh, well, that is it's an unpleasant turn of events. So now we have a werewolf and a minotaur to fight at the same time. There's the sub-weapon. It is a chain lightning attack, so if you throw one and land it, you keep holding down the button and it will stay on them and arc lightning toward them. Toward whoever you hit with the initial attack. It does use quite a few hearts, but it does a lot of damage in return, so it's rather nice for this fight. That's Minotaur down pretty easily, and there's the werewolf. Thanks, Chain Lightning.
I'm certain that was a Belmont. So he says he's the lord of this castle.
Yeah, that was kind of an odd thing to say, don't you think? But anyway, let's grab our life max up and keep going. Well, look at that. The button releases the lock on the elevator. I fall a long way down. It's kind of irritating. But the elevator's coming. You can hear it there. Because there was something else we wanted to get while we were up there. We didn't just do that all to be able to use the elevator. That wasn't the point. It's nice, but we're here for this. Form of Mist. Now when we get to things that say mist could pass, we can briefly turn into a vampiric mist and pass through them. It sort of stretches out there. It takes a good chunk of your magic, and it lasts only for a moment. Right now, what you're seeing is just, that's all I get out of it until I turn right back into my regular half vampire, half human form. I just wanted to show you the upstairs here, but we're going to have to come back to this later because there's something else we need to do here that we can't do now. I don't know, just a brief detour. It's kind of unsatisfying, I'm sorry. But for now, the work that we came to do here in Colosseum is done. And we're leaving. Heading back into Olrox's quarters. Do I want to hang on to the stopwatch? No, I do not. But I'm going to make a mental note of where that thing is for later. Ah! Get away from me, poltergeist. Yikes. There we go. So we're going to head through into this fairly long corridor. And a few guys that are going to take a lot of hits to get past. His name is just Hammer. It's a interesting choice. Can't imagine why he chose that one. Thankfully, Offense Up is going to help us make quicker work of him. This is Blade. Again. Why do you suppose he chose that? Curious. Blade, as a final act of revenge, will throw his blade at you as he dies. But I have yet to actually be hit by it. Because I'm always going forward. You go past him, and then he... Anyway. There's an area going up that we cannot get to just yet, and a fast travel station. This one with sort of a scary-looking goat. Remember, goat face is Olrox's. Here's horse, that's near the beginning. Here's Scorpion, which is the one we were looking for. Scorpion, as you recall, is up by the library in the upper right of the map. We're at the outer wall here. It's a bit of a foggy day right now. We're going to take this incredibly safe elevator all the way to the bottom because there was a mist could pass doorway that we're going to go check out. I couldn't remember if I had busted that open or not. I think I have. And I can also get to this ring for the first time, a garnet. Again, the rings are only for selling. They're just a bit of a way to carry some hard currency around. We're going to use some more lightning to take care of this armor lord and get right past him. This isn't actually where we wanted to go, but it's fun. And we get to break the wall open, which has a pot roast in it. You know, definitely you want to eat the food that you find embedded in the walls in Dracula's castle. Here we are, mist could pass, not the dog. It's... The buttons, I never remember which one's which. And you're going to see me do that a lot, and I am sorry. The mirror cuirass is slightly worse than what we use, but it is polished to resist stoning, which is going to be a very nice feature in a certain part of the castle that we haven't seen yet. The jewel-reinforced knuckles, also known as jewel knuckles, are just a punch. Instead of having a blade or a sword or a mace or something, you just have a punch. Like they're, you know, just like that. But we're not going to stick with those. We're going to go back to our shield rod and make our way back up to the library. As you see, activating the offense up means we can now one-shot those guys, which is pretty nice. And as we work our way through the library, our new double jump ability allows us to get up here for the first time. Here's a special corpse weed that grows a head and then spits at you. It is, it's upsetting, to say the least, and I don't know why I let him do it. I think I just wanted everyone to see. So going through here, avoiding the old merchant man, we get a save point. And we're going to have to leave it there for this video before we get to see what happens at points beyond. So stay tuned next time to see what is behind the save point in the long library. Thank you ever so much for watching. And we'll see you next mission.